The solar industry loves to make this confusing. Bifacial, TOPCon, N-type, bifaciality factor. Every term sounds like a choice you need to make. Most of it isn't. Bifacial and TOPCon are not two options on the menu. One is a cell technology, one is a panel design. You can have both, and most of the time you already do without realizing it. Once you understand that, the real question comes into focus. Does bifacial actually help you on your specific roof? The answer is not what most people expect. I'm Tatiana from A1 Solar Store. Let's clear this up. TOPCon stands for Tunnel Oxide Passivated Contact. Here is what it actually means. Every solar cell leaks. Electrons get generated, but some escape before they can be captured. TOPCon fixes that with an ultra-thin oxide layer at the contact point. Less leakage, more output from the same amount of sun. The cells are built on N-type silicon, and that matters. Older PERC panels use P-type, which degrades in the first few months just from being exposed to light. You buy a 400-watt panel and by spring it's already putting out less than 400 watts. TOPCon doesn't have that problem. What's on the label is what you get from day one. The numbers: 22 to 23% efficiency versus 2021 for PERC. Temperature coefficient of minus 0.30% Celsius versus 0.38% on a hot day. That gap shows up in real output. Degradation around 0.40% per year versus 0.55. Among the world's top panel manufacturers, TOPCon made up nearly 88% of all modules shipped in 2025. It's not a premium option anymore. It's the new standard. Bifacial is simpler. It's not a cell technology, it's a panel design. A standard panel collects sunlight from one side. Bifacial panels have a transparent back, so they can also capture light reflected up from below, off the ground, gravel, snow. That reflected light hits the rear and generates extra electricity on top of what the front produces. The marketing number you'll see is 10 to 30% more energy. That's real, but it comes from utility-scale farms mounted high above white gravel with tracking systems. We'll get to what it actually looks like on a residential roof. One underrated benefit: glass on both sides. Standard panels have a polymer backsheet that can degrade over time. Bifacial panels use glass on the rear too, more durable over 25 years, regardless of how much light the back is actually catching. Here is where most people get confused. TOPCon and bifacial are not two options on the menu. They describe completely different things. TOPCon is a cell technology. What happens inside the panel? Bifacial is a panel design, how many sides collect light. A panel can be bifacial without being TOPCon. A TOPCon panel can be monofacial or bifacial. And most TOPCon panels being sold today are already bifacial. So bifacial versus TOPCon isn't really a choice. The real question is, does the bifacial design actually do anything useful on your roof? That's what we are going to answer next. Remember that 10 to 30% gain from the rear side? That number comes from solar farms. Panels elevated a meter above white gravel with tracking systems. Not your roof. In a typical home, panels sit 4 to 6 inches above dark asphalt shingles that absorb 90% of the light hitting them. Real-world rear side gain 2 to 5%. On an 8 kilowatt system, that's about $48 a year in extra savings against $400 to $1,200 bifacial premium. The math doesn't work. Where it does work, ground mounts, carports, pergolas, elevated over lighter surfaces. Realistic gains of 8 to 15%. And snowy climates like Minnesota or Colorado, where reflected light of snow gives the rear side something to actually work with. So what does this mean for you? Standard rooftop on dark shingles, bifacial isn't doing much. You're buying TOPCon bifacial because that's what's available, and that's fine, but technology doing the work is TOPCon, not Bifacial feature. Limited roof space, TOPCon earns its place. More watts per square foot, more output from less roof. Ground mount, carports, pergola, this is where Bifacial actually delivers. Elevated over concrete or gravel, you're looking at 8 to 15% rear side gain. That premium pays back in 4 to 6 years. Snowy climate, one of the strongest cases for Bifacial. Snow reflects a lot of light, and a ground-mounted bifacial system can see 25 to 30% more output in winter. Most homeowners are buying TOPCon. Bifacial comes along for the ride. If you have a ground mount or live somewhere snowy, then it's genuinely worth optimizing for. Most TOPCon bifacial panels in 440-450 watt range run $145 to $240 per panel. GE Solar, Seraphim and Trina are solid tier 1 options starting around $170. Hyundai Axitec and Canadian Solar sit in their $200 to $140 range with strong US warranty support. Large format 580 to 600 watts go from $250 to $300 and suited for ground mounts or volume purchases. All of these are on A1 Solar Store. Links in the description. TOPCon is the baseline now. Bifacial is upgrade that only pays off in the right conditions. Know which one you are actually buying and why. What's your setup? Let me know below. I'm Tatiana. See you next time.